Welcome back to another gadget report. Let's talk gadgets. And today we're talking competition. We love a good story about competition in any industry. Aviation is no different. Today I'm going to talk about competition, in this particular case, in the domestic market in Australia. This is based on an article published by Australian Aviation last week on the 30th of January. And let's see what they say and let's see what I think about this. What does competition do? So let's talk gadgets and let's talk competition. Last week, an article published on Australian Aviation written by Jake Nelson spoke about competition and the importance of competition in the aviation industry. They say, and I'm reading the article, so that's why you'll see me looking. They will say that increasing competition in major routes will slash airfares, according to some data they had and they provided from the federal government. So they say that airfares will average 39.6 cents per kilometer in routes that have a monopoly, so that are carried only by one carrier. Then 28.2 cents on routes with two carriers, and 19.2 cents with a route with three carriers. So this is the rate per kilometer in these three examples. Well, I think this is a no-brainer. I think everybody knows that the more competition, the less it's going to be in terms of pricing, because there's more providers offering and there will be more offer in the market, and more offer means prices are going to go down. So this is a good thing. I think I do apologize for my cough. I do think that it's very important that we keep competition going. And in Australia, in the domestic market, we've seen, for example, the start of another carrier with Bonza, which helped massively. But we still see a huge dominance of Qantas or Qantas Group, with Qantas and Jetstar in the market, which I think more carriers would be a good welcome. I think that should happen also in the international market. There was a huge controversy last year when an international carrier asked the federal government to increase the number of flights into Sydney, and it was refused. At the time, there was a huge controversy, and there was talks that he had the federal government or the prime minister had been advised by the then Qantas CEO Alan Joyce not to accept those flights. Nothing has been proven, but the reality is we really need more competition, and we really need to get more carriers in. What I do think, and that's something that I do know, it's that we need to get competition, we need to get more airlines in, but then we also need to be careful to keep a balance on the airlines and on what we let airlines do. Because if at the moment, for example, we complain or we say that a particular airline is having a monopoly on a certain route or having a monopoly on a certain market, if we allow another airline to increase and then that airline has predominance, then we are giving that sort of monopoly to another airline. I think there needs to be keep a balance. I actually believe that there should be more flights and more offerings from diverse airlines. I remember we used to have flights from most of European airlines, and these days that does not happen anymore. We have Most of European airlines choose a partnership with an Asian airline or even with an Australian airline, and then they fly their passengers into an Asian hub, and the last leg of the flight will be done in code share with either an Asian airline or an Australian airline. So I would like to see, for example, in the international market, I would like to see more European airlines coming back to Australia and making their own flights to Australia. I would like to see, in fact, more diversity in the offerings. I would not just like to see one airline or a particular segment of airlines to have predominance and have all these increase in flights, but I would like to see more variety. I would like to see more offerings and diversity, so I am able to choose which airline I want to go, and the more the merrier, because if we have more airlines doing the route, that means the prices will go down. This obviously, and when you talk in terms of airlines, because everything needs to be balanced, and when you talk in terms of airlines, need to be also viable, because as you know, there's a huge expense associated with operating a flight. It's the fuel for the jet, it's the maintenance of the jet, it's the crew, it's the food that they provide to the passengers, everything. It's the taxes that they pay at airports, everything. The running costs of a flight are high, and you know that. So flights need obviously to cover that and give the airline or provide the airline a profit. That's what every business does. All of them run for a profit, because otherwise they wouldn't be a business. However, if the prices go in a way that they're so low that the flights are not sustainable, then the airlines would withdraw, and that would be a problem. So I think in the current situation, in the current market, there is enough demand for more flights. I certainly think that. However, I think it needs to be a balanced approach as well. I don't think, even if more airlines, and even though the article speaks mainly about the domestic, but if internationally, if we have an influx of flights or more flights, I don't think that will massively jeopardize any airline, unlike what Alan Joyce claimed about Qantas. I think obviously there would be an adjustment, and of course, if an airline is recording a massive profit, that profit will obviously take a dive, because there will be competition. But in the end, I think it will be a win-win for everyone, because there will be market for everyone. I think competition is a positive thing. I think it is a positive thing, and I think we need that in the Australian market. We need more airlines to come to Australia. We need more offering, so we have more choice, because at the moment, I don't think, for example, and I'm talking about the case of people that, like myself, travel to Europe. At the moment, we don't have a lot of choice. We either have to fly into an Asian country and then into Europe. For example, for Portugal, I have to do 2 stops. I have to stop in an Asian hub, and then in a European hub, and then Lisbon. There's now some airlines that fly you to the Middle East, and you have a stopover in the Middle East, and then you go to Europe. I don't know. I don't really fly with those, so I don't know. It's one of those things, and I think in terms of choice, and we have very little choice. And I believe that if we had more, for example, more European airlines coming back to Australia, at the moment we have British Airways. I believe it's the only one that still flies their own planes into Australia. So it's only British Airways. I believe if there is more airlines coming back and flying into Australia, there will be more choice not only for Australians but for people in those countries to have flights from their own airlines, and possibly with much better pricing. So I think it's good. I think I would embrace the competition saga. I don't think it's doom and gloom for the airlines. I honestly don't. But obviously, when you talk about decreasing their profit, they are going to say it's doom and gloom, and it's understandable. It's a business, but I think it is what it is. I think it's good. It's good to have competition. I think the appearance of other airlines, such as what happened with Bonza, I think was good. It was a good thing. And Rex has always been also been expanding, so it's a good thing too. Virgin, that unfortunately almost went down during that period we know of, but it's has come back, so we basically have our airlines intact, and I think that's a positive for the domestic market. We just need that that balance and that competition in the international market, and I think that would be a positive thing for everyone. And that's all for today. I hope you liked this gadget report. I hope you like my intake on, or my take on this competition issue. What do you think? Do you think really on a business perspective, having competition is bad, or is it good? What do you think about competition in the aviation industry? Do you think that more airlines coming to Australia is actually going to help the market, or is it going to be the doom and gloom that, for example, Alan Joyce claimed it would be for Qantas? So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer all your comments and queries. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. Share the video so everyone knows about it, and the message gets to more people. Share the video. And before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.